What's up guys, tongued up. Welcome to my channel. This is my 2000 Toyota Celica GT. I rebuilt the engine recently. The car started up no problem. As you can see, the car is being warmed up. There's no smoke coming out from the exhaust. Right now I'm just getting all the air bubble out the coolant line. After driving for 10 minutes at higher RPM, the car will start to smoke off and on. I drove my car on the freeway a couple times. My car started to smoke like I'm playing the video game Spy Hunter, where I smoke everybody behind me, and it felt kind of embarrassing. But about half a dozen times smoking on and off, then eventually it'll disappear completely. I still have oil going into the cylinders right here, especially these two, and I notice oil is pulling up in the intake manifold. I mean, there's a lot of oil, and the valve seals are all new, got new piston rings in it, so it can't be from there. So it has to be from either this hose with the PVC valve in it or this hose right here. I'm guessing it's coming out from this hose right here. If the oil was coming out from this hose, I will have oil pulling up in here as well. But this side here is very dry, no oil residue, nothing on this side here. However, on this side is bolt onto the intake manifold. This side is covered with oil. So when I separate the intake manifold and the throttle body, I got oil basically just spill out from there. Here is the intake manifold. I managed to pour out this much oil. I mean, that's a lot of oil from here, and I still have oil inside the intake manifold filling out. That's a lot of oil coming from there. So definitely the oil is coming in from here, which is this hose right here. So my guess possibility is could be this PVC valve right here. When the engine revs up, this thing stays closed because there's suction in there. Possibility this thing is not closing, and somehow now you got a lot of suction coming from here, from this hose right here, and it's sucking out oil in there. I don't know how. Normally the oil doesn't like go to the upper part of the splash plate, but I'm gonna try to replace this PVC valve right here, see that resolve the problem. So I still have some oil leak coming into the intake manifold. I will take it for a drive, and for the first 15-20 miles I have smoke coming out from my exhaust from time to time, and after that it'll clear up. So I'm thinking either there's still some oil in the intake manifold area, or this hose right here is still sucking in a little bit of oil. And I have removed the intake manifold already, and after just tilted at a certain angle and left it for a while, I got this much oil out of it. This is a lot less than when I first started out with. At the beginning, there were a lot of oil. I mean, basically fill up to this much right here easily, and there's still more inside the intake manifold. And I went ahead and replaced the PCV valve. So originally, this is the factory PCV valve, and it probably still good at that time when I change it out. I just want to have one that is newer. So I went down to the auto parts store and picked one of these things up here. It's about $10, and I put it in there. It worked for a while, probably for a couple of years at least. Then something happened to it. It sounds like it's still functioning properly, but when I have this thing on, I got a lot more oil going into the intake manifold, which flood all the cylinders. And I removed the this aftermarket one in there, and I cleaned up the old one and put it back in there. I think it might did the job as far as stopping the oil from coming out. I'm still not 100% sure, because either the smoke is coming out from the exhaust is due to the excess oil in the intake manifold already and just suck it out from time to time, or this thing is not still not working 100%. So I went down to the dealership and I purchased another one. So here's the parts number for the PCV, the valve here. And I also went ahead and replaced this seal right here underneath the gas cap. Here's the number for the oil cap gasket. It's only about $3 something. And hopefully that will stop any air coming in here during high acceleration and prevent oil from coming out here. So when we install the intake manifold, it's raining pretty hard out there. Let me go and grab the intake manifold. Went ahead and sprayed some engine foam cleaner in there. Basically fill up the whole thing with cleaner, and later on wash everything out and get all the water out as much as I could. So right now there's no oil in there. Maybe it's a little bit water. I'm not concerned about the water. If it gets stuck in there, it's just gonna burn off. So I'm going to reinstall back into the engine and see if these two new parts in here will actually eliminate the oil flow into the intake manifold. Alright, I got everything put back together. Yeah, so hopefully new oil cap gasket along with the new PVC, the valve, hopefully that will solve the oil sucking into the intake manifold issue. Right now intake manifold is clean, there's nothing in here, so when I'm driving it there shouldn't be no smoke coming out. Maybe a little bit, maybe I'm thinking there's still some like oil in the piston area from the last time I use it, but once that burn out, I should have no more smoke. If there's any more smoke coming in, it will be coming from here, and then I need to address that down the road. But so far, hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, that will solve the problem. Most of the time it's the those two parts right there, air coming in here, and most likely it's the PVC valve. This is a brand new one, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. So after replacing the PCV valve and the oil cap gasket, I still have a problem where they call burnt oil. So what happened is I figured it out when I was honing out the engine, and I believe that I didn't do a good job honing it out. You sort of rough up the inner wall of the cylinder, and I did it real quickly. And so when I put the new rings in them, and I think they're not seated properly, and there might be uneven gaps around the cylinder wall and the rings. So I had some blow by going into the engine. But so when the engine is running on high RPM, like on the freeway, I will have oil burning. It's intermittent, off and on, off and on. So what I did is to temporarily fix it, I removed this hose right here. This is the hose that go in here. I went and remove it, and I got myself a temporary hose. Come out here, and I just hook up just a piece of tubing right here, And right here I find another hose, and basically I just put a little silicone glue, and with the bolt I just made a little cap to cap off the nipple right here, so this way it won't suck in any air. When this hose is connected, when there's blow by and create a lot of pressure inside the engine, and also this hose is sucking real hard when the engine is running on high RPM, and it just somehow is sucking oil in here, slowly build up and go into the cylinder, causing it to smoke. So since I cap up this little inlet right here, there's still some pressure from the engine due to blow by. Since it's not sucking no more, it's just releasing pressure. And I ordered oil catch can, about to install it, but I never did because I gotta find a place to mount this thing right here. Before I got my order in, I made my own little oil catch can. Basically it's a soda can. So I have a hole here to insert this tube right here. I got a little vent hole on top of here, so basically I just put it in here, and the only thing coming out here is just vapor, and nothing in here. It's all dry. And instead of using the catch can, I just use this right here. This is probably better and easier. And let's put it in like this right here. I just get an old sock, and basically just let it sit here, and the sock prevent it from rattling. And I just tie up the hose a little bit just so it won't move around. And that's it. It's not going nowhere, it's not making any noise. And since there's no oil going in here and burning it, the car actually runs better. It's not burning oil. See, you got oil all up to here. And my first oil change, I put about 3,000 miles, and I'm on my second oil change right now. So I got about around 1,500 miles in there right now. So basically I'm doing is I let the engine run until the ring seat, and I hope that will solve the problem on the blow by. When there's no more blow by, I can put back this hose back in there, and the car actually run better. The long term and the short term fuel trim is close to zero on both numbers. The car never ran like this before, never ran so good before until like now. Car is just running smooth, and that temporarily solved the problem right now, and I'm just gonna let it run. When I put the engine back together, I did a compression check. It was pretty low. I believe it was in the around 90s, and 90s or 95-ish on all the cylinders. The highest on these right here can be up to 140. So maybe because of the blow by and the rings are not seated properly, and that's why I got some leak in there and causing it to have low PSIs on the cylinders. Hopefully when I get my next oil change around 6,000 mile ish, then I can do a compression check. If the compression improve, it means also the blow by is being reduced. So that's my goal right there, is to let it run until all the ring seats in. So that's pretty much it on how to if you have burning oil issue coming up from the exhaust. This is a temporary fix. You can actually run a tube into a catch can and not allow it to siphon back into the intake manifold, and this will help your car run cleaner and not burning oil. Alright, so that pretty much for this video. Hope the little tip helped you as far as you know, if you have oil burning issues because of the oil is going to the intake manifold. This will definitely temporarily solve your issue without spending a lot of money on it. This trick probably work if your car is old and your rings are a little worn out and you have blow by and sucking oil and burning oil. This will relieve the pressure and also keep your car from burning oil. You can go buy a catch can, or you can use a soda can, whatever you prefer. I hope this video is helpful on troubleshooting on your car burning oil. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.